continue with our class Kosher Kitchen. And we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. And today's big topic is the same, believing in Lashon Hara. And today's topic is preparatory remarks. Prefatory remarks. And it says, we have seen that a derogatory statement about someone is not to be believed as a fact, even for the constructive purpose. One is to take the necessary precaution without changing the attitude toward the subject, right? So that's what you said, not yesterday, but day before yesterday. So even though you are allowed to listen to the information, you are allowed to protect yourself or your close ones, wherever is on the line, but you're not allowed to believe it 100%. You have to do your own investigation. Okay, continue. Because we have also learned that to cause another Jew to transgress is to violate the prohibition before the blind person do not place a stumbling block. Vayikra 19:14. So, and we said this prohibition is actually like, of course, in the literal sense, like somebody's, I don't know, like you did something to him literally, stumbling block in front of the blind, right? But it's also it's like in most of the cases, it's like not a literal sense. And when somebody misleads somebody, meaning when somebody is speaking Lashon Hara and we're listening, right? The person said, no, I know so many people like that. No, it's not nice. How can I say stop? How can I say I should go? So I always say, like, if it's going to be poisonous snake, right? People do not care. Like, and what are you going to do? You're going to jump and run, right? like wildfire or something. Like, yeah, that's what you do. You say, I apologize, I need to go. Where do you need to go? I apologize, I need to go. Yeah, I see you. Okay, I need to go. Just go. As our sages say, it's better for a person to be look at a fool 70 years of their life than 1 second to be evil, like wicked in the eyes of HaShem. Right? I mean, it's clear formula. There is no second opinion. It's only one opinion. Okay, continue. Consequently, when one relates a negative information for a constructive purpose, we must be careful not to cause the listener to sin by believing the information in fact. So it's here's a little different twist. So even though he was allowed to tell us whatever he said, this negative information, and because of it was a constructive purpose for us, right, related to us in some way, we're allowed to hear what he said, but we cannot put a stumbling block, meaning what, to believe it. Okay. The proper way to convey negative information for a constructive purpose is to preface it with a statement such as, don't take my word for it. I may be mistaken, but do take the matter seriously. So it's very interesting. Do not take my word for it. I may be mistaken, but do take the matter seriously. Meaning it's your job to do investigation. That's what it is. Okay. So I might be mistaken, but it's usually, I mean, it's your obligation to investigate. Okay. Stop here. Any questions on what we said?
Rabbi?
Yes. Go ahead.
Do we have to be like even more careful with in the case the person we're sharing this information with tends to overreact or over-exaggerate the facts when they hear it?
It's actually it's a must. It's one of the conditions. We did not get to it, but since you asked, I'm going to say. So if you know there is a crazy person, hot head, right? So you tell him somebody scratched your car, something, right? So he's going to take a baseball bat and split his brain, right? So that's it's not allowed. So if you know that there is a violent person, he or she is going to overreact, it's not allowed. And women also can be very aggressive, right? So not allowed in this case. And especially when they exaggerate and they going to start rumors. So that to me, and then you're going to come and say, that's not what I said. but it's too late. In a sense, we always have to evaluate the person and the way he reacts, as you said, because if it's over what the Torah, like if person, right, is going to lose more than the Torah prescribes, that based in what prescribes, so it's not allowed to tell them. Absolutely not. Okay, very good question. And people get you're welcome. People get to exaggerate. I had a class today, and I was explaining. I was asked the question, and I explained everything, as you know, in detail from the beginning to the end. And then the person comes, different person, and tells us. So I said, if I understand correctly, so I just want to remember. Okay. So and a person started repeating like opposite what I said. I said that's not what I said, and it was exactly like 30 seconds later, 15 seconds later, after we finished, like. Unbelievable. So with people like that, first of all, you're not allowed to believe them. So if you know that somebody is like that, might sound like spontaneous, that sound like a very emotional person. So of course, more times than not, that person is going to exaggerate. So if we have to take everything into account. Okay. Any other questions? We continue. Okay. So we continue. Let's remember where we're up. So we're in chapter 9. And now big topic is avoiding problems with washing dishes. Okay, so we're going to get to summary in the table and right. Okay, so scenario number 5, and it says dishes was washed with detergents. In the opinion of many poskim, meat and dairy utensils that are washed together with detergent do not require koshering. And because, as we said, even there was some residue, right, from one plate into another. When you wash with detergent, it's like they clean. Right? They clean for sure. The potent taste of the detergent has an adverse effect on any taste impaired into the water and subsequently into utensils. The opinion of the some poskim that, in the opinion of some poskim, this applies even if the utensil being washed was soiled. Okay, I'm going to see the commentary later. One should note, if the utensil were first rinsed or soaked together in water without detergent, this leniency does not apply. When presented to a Rav a question of dishes washed together, one should inform Rav whether the detergent was used and whether the water was not or was hot. This issue is discussed at length in the laws of Kashrut, chapter 10, section A. So meaning laws of Kashrut. 1 second, is the next I don't know, 1 second. I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, doesn't matter. So let's do this again, and we're going to explain. So, but as we understand, the detergent helps a lot. First of all, it washes away, and second, it spoils the taste. So even sometimes they smell good, not sometimes they smell good with mint taste or orange taste or lemon taste, right? Smell, not taste, right? They smell nice, but they're very bitter. Okay. So they spoil the taste that was absorbed. So it's no longer meat taste. It's like some like soap taste or something. Okay, so let's see. So from the beginning, we're going to explain. In the opinion of many poskim, the meat and dairy utensils that are washed together with detergent do not require koshering. So again, we're talking about when they were not soaked together, right? the potent taste of detergent has an adverse effect on any taste impaired into the water and subsequently into utensils. So when we say into the water, it means that it's not like that they're just in a sink, meaning that they were put in a dishpan or something, right? So I mean it's soaked in water, like together, not soaked. Let's say one was there, and now the dairy utensils were there, plates, and now that they put meat plates and they start washing. Okay. So meaning it was this transfer of taste through the water. Of course, the water was hot. In the opinion of some poskim, this applies even if utensil being washed were soiled. Okay, but I mean, in my kind, like when we're talking about a utensil, like it's very rare. Of course, sometimes you would rinse the clean utensils, but like most of the time you washed only the dirty ones, so it's soiled. Okay, no problem. One should note that if the utensil were first rinsed or soaked together in the water without detergent, the leniency does not apply. So let's understand this case. One should note that if utensil were first rinsed or soaked together, so meaning rinsed together or soaked together, so it's like they have a time for the taste to be absorbed, right? Together in hot water, right? The taste transferred in the hot water without detergent, the leniency does not apply. When presented to a Rav, this question of dishes washed together, one should inform Rav whether detergent were used and whether the water was hot and all of these things. But I'm not sure how many people today use dishpanner. And right, so usually like people leave the dishes in a sink or next to the sink. So I guess, like in my mind, if they would start washing, they would just wash one on top of the other. I think it's a more popular scenario. I think more common scenario. So in this case, it would be no problem, right? Even like hot water from one would go like you washing milk dishes, and it's go into the meat dishes. Why? Because you do it with detergent, and even though hot water, let's say above the Yatzelades bowl, but because of the detergent, it's no longer a taste. that is a problematic. Okay, scenario number 6: dishes washed without a sponge or of the other. Dishes washed with a sponge of the other type. So I mean, sponge with the other type. I mean, I'm not sure if it's possible to wash the sponge to kosher the sponge. Meaning, once you washed it, okay, it looks clean to you, but for sure the sponge absorbed like deep inside, and it's for sure for whatever type you using it for sure it absorbs this taste. Okay. So it says a common occurrence in the kitchen that the dairy dish is washed with the meat sponge. Okay, or the reverse. Okay. If the meat sponge has a status of the meat sponge has a status as a meat utensil, as we said, unless it was like. I mean, if it was like after like if you did not rinse the whole soap from it, right? So it is a meat taste of the meat, but it's full of soap, right? It's also like we have to take into consideration. So it's not real meat, but the sponge itself, yeah, it's a meat utensil. Okay. One must determine whether or not the sponge and the dishes were clean, or whether they were ben yamo. Okay, so let's say this, what is the example? The dairy sponge on meat utensil, right? Whether sponge or dishes were ben yamo. So ben yamo meaning used in the past 24 hours. Okay, so let's go into scenarios. So the first one, if meat sponge was clean, So again, clean nobody cleaning the sponge. You just use it. After you use you wring it and that's it, right? So nobody cleaning the sponge. I think maybe somebody do, but okay. So it says if the meat sponge was clean meaning there's no residue. That's what clean means, the way I understand. And not ben yama, so and was not used for more than 24 hours. And the dishes were soiled, meaning this daily dishes were soiled. The soiled dishes are unaffected, and the sponge should be discarded. Okay, because why it should be discarded? I mean, if you want to continue using it's for a daily, I guess there is no problem. But but for meat, you're not allowed to use it. No longer allowed to use. Okay, that's I guess the easiest, straightforward case. Again, our case just to repeat. A sponge. It's a meat sponge that was not used for more than 24 hours, and daily dishes which is soiled. Okay, so and water. It does not say, but I'm just adding. And water is above Yad Cylinder's bowl. Okay, so there is no problem with the dish, but sponge you have to throw out. Okay, no problem. Continue. Next one. Second. If sponge was soiled and the dishes were clean and not ben yama, the dishes must be koshered, but the sponge is unaffected. So let's understand. One more time. Sponge was soiled, so it's exactly opposite. And the dishes were clean and not ben yama. So clean. The dishes were clean, but they were used in the past 24 hours, right? Meaning, so again, the issue is that it's going to be mixed of milk and meat together in these dishes. The dishes must be kosher because sponge was soiled, but the sponge is unaffected. I mean, again, because it gave out all of the taste, but did not absorb the taste. Why? Because it is dirty. Okay, no problem. Next one, number 3. If dishes were ben yama, meaning used in the past 24 hours, or both sponge and dishes were clean and ben yama, the sponge is discarded and the dishes must be kosher. One more time. If dishes were not ben yama, or both sponge and dishes were clean and ben yama, the sponge is discarded and dishes must be kosher. So meaning what? If dishes were ben yama, so meaning that they can accept it's going to be mixture, meaning, right? Because the taste is still there, and or both the sponge and dishes were clean and ben yama, so that doesn't matter. Clean and ben yama, the sponge is discarded, and the dishes must be koshered. Okay, why? Because the taste even stays in a sponge. Okay. Continue. Next one, last one. Detergent was used. The halachas are similar to those in 5 above. So meaning all of this looks like without detergent. Okay, so but if they were used with detergent, I think in all of this should be no issues. Okay, because they were not soaked together. Okay. Continue. Number 7. Similarly, cutlery found among others of the other type. A frequent occurrence in many homes that the homes is a mysterious appearance of the daily cutlery, for example, a spoon, among the meat cutlery, or the reverse. So it's like socks, right? You go to do your laundry, and you come like when you check, everything is like in the machine is empty, and you're missing a sock. So how is it possible? Like where did the sock go? right? And the disappearing socks. I don't know. It's like an incident that it was not, and then it's not on the floor. That's a mystery. I'm not sure what happened to the socks, but it's very interesting, right? So the same they say with the spoons. So you open the drawer, right, and you see in a meat drawer there is a milk spoon. So what should you do? Like, was it washed together, or how did they get there, basically? So the question, right? Must one suspect that the spoon was soiled and then inadvertently washed with the meat dishes? So right, so that's a good question. Must one kosher all of the meat cutlery? That's a good question. Must one kosher the daily spoon? Poskim rule that neither the spoon nor the cutlery required koshering. So before we continue, let's read the questions again, because I mean the question, the answer is not such easy to understand. So basically, we don't know what happened and how this clean spoon came into being among the meat cutlery. So like the answer, like from the answer, like you can like assume that they think they like based on the answer, like they suspect that clean dairy spoon got into this meat drawer somehow. I don't know how, but that's what they assume, that nothing should be kosher. Otherwise, like all of the questions about questions. Right. So one more time, the questions. Must one suspect that the spoon was soiled, inadvertently washed with the meat dishes? I mean, in my mind, like it's good suspicion, right? It's valid suspicion. Must one kosher all of the meat cutlery? Maybe. I mean, it's a very good question. Must one kosher the daily spoon? So basically, I mean. The thing is, the way I understand, in all of these cases, there is an uncertainty. So we don't know what actually happened, right? We have no idea what happened. Okay, so Paskim ruled that neither the spoon nor cutlery koshering required. Okay. Continue. Fortunately, there is no explanation. I would like I mean, I have this somewhere. Don't think I don't have time, right? But it would be very interesting, like to see like explanation. But because of the doubts, so we cannot force people to go like, because koshering is only when you're sure, and it's a big probability, and it's one too many. So maybe like I don't know. They say no koshering required. We take it. Continue. Should this housekeeper be washing dishes? One must be aware of the impropriety of permitting non-Jewish housekeeper to wash dishes. In the following section, we will enumerate the many problems related to dishwashing. Washing cutlery of one type with the other is only one of the many problems that may occur. Housekeeper cannot be expected, much less trusted, to give the serious matter the proper attention. See chapter 17, where many problems associated with housekeeper are discussed. Okay. So let's read this again and try to understand. So the problem is with the housekeeper who is not Jewish. So of course, if she already there, so you want to ask her to do everything, and you explain to people. I say, yeah, I understand. Is it clear? And maybe you repeat 3 times, like somebody was somebody that I'm trying to help, and person give me instruction. What? Okay, I say, okay, thank you, I got it. And then a person said, no, please be careful, because this like this. I say, I got it. And then like after three times, I said, maybe you're dealing with stupid people. I understand from the first time. You said it is important. This should go in this envelope. This is that. And I got it. I got it. But many people, they just say they got it, but they don't. Right? It's very interesting. And for this housekeeper, the lady just does her job, right? You told her to wash dishes. She's going to wash dishes. You said this is separate. This is separate. Maybe she works in another 5 places, right? For non-Jews, like. So your separate is like she's not going to remember, basically. Okay. So she cannot be trusted, right? Or it's a little of this and a little of that, and she needs to go, right? And so she would combine to make it fast, and there's nobody home, and it's only logical for her. Okay, and nobody would ever find out if there are no like a residue or something. You will never ever find out. Okay, unless you have a camera or something. So continue. One must be aware of the impropriety of permitting the non-Jewish housekeepers to wash dishes. Okay, we got it. In the following section, we will enumerate the many problems relating to the dishwashing. Washing the cutlery of one type with the other type, Beezrat, is the only one of the many problems that may occur. And I would say, I'm just adding from myself, I think it's the easiest one. Unless you're talking about these big serving spoons made from plastic. Many times you cannot even kosher them. Like the easiest one, if you have this metal cutlery, that's the easiest one. Okay. As housekeeper cannot be expected, much less be trusted. As we said, it's not like she's a bad person. Like she's well-meaning person, but it's you give too many instructions. Okay. Let's trust it to give serious matter the proper attention. See chapter 17 and said. Continue. Number 8. Oh, actually, do we have any questions before we continue? Yes, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I forgot to ask. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so there's a question on the board. It says, what happens if you use a dishcloth to clean a dairy dish in out soapy water? Can you use it on meat dish?
No, you cannot. So this the washing cloth and sponges. I don't think it's a big difference. Maybe sponge absorb more, but that's it. So this dishcloth became whatever you washed meat utensil became meat. For us, it's halachah of meat. In a sense, so it's proper. For example, if somebody is trying to use one sink, so it's dangerous. Okay, we spoke about it, but let's say something. So like have a sponge is different color or in the different corners, right? That's what we have. Like they marked not to make any mistakes. Otherwise, it's simple. Like if even you're living in this house, you might forget. So they have to be we have to be very careful. Okay. Any other questions? Or yes, you're welcome.
Yeah. I have. I'm kind of confused with this about this issue of the detergents.
Mm-hmm.
Both with the issue of washing the dishes and the sponge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the all the cases that he discussed about using the sponge with the different dishes,
mm-hmm.
since the detergent was used, the halachos are similar to those in 5 above. But how does this apply? Like when we put the detergent directly into the sponge, it makes some foam.
Yeah. It kills the taste. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but because it is it's very simple. So he goes into the more difficult one. If it's only sponge without water, without water. It's only sponge without detergent. Me personally, I don't think I ever wash the dishes without soap. I don't know. I guess. I'm just thinking, why is that? Maybe because the sponge is never clean, as I said. I mean, it's not like we change the sponge every day. So you use it for some time, and there's a residue. So you don't want the old residue go into these dishes. I mean, right? After we finish washing, we just squeeze it, and of course it's full of soap. It looks clean, and but it's not exactly 100% clean. You understand? So this detergent helps a lot. So it kills the taste. So what is forbidden again? Like to always have the big picture. What is forbidden? Mixture milk and meat together in one dish. That's in one dish, but in our case, it's whether the sponge is affected, right? When it was clean, non bediamo, and the taste from the dish that was used in this today, or it was used or it was soiled, so it would go into the sponge, or opposite. This dish was clean, and it's the taste would go from the sponge. But detergent kills the taste. That's it. So that's it.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So about the same issue of detergent in this point 5, it says, I don't know if the paragraph is kind of implying that usage of cold water changed the whole scenario, but it says that one should know that if the utensils were first rinsed or soaked together in hot water without detergents, this leniency does not apply. Mm-hmm. So I would think, okay, doesn't mean that if we have this dishes that are not technically, I don't know, they're not soiled, they could be mixed together in a dish pan with cold water and a bunch of detergent that was mixed with the water before we put the plates in.
So I mean, I would say, so yeah, it's a very good question. So I would say it depends. So cold water, we said if you leave something in the cold water for long enough, it's going to transfer the taste. I think we said to 24 hours. They call it soaking, right? So that's the issue. But if you just put it for a short period of time into cold water, and both utensils are clean. I'm not sure why you do that, but let's say, right? But you know what? Actually, it's not true. So my wife always, so even like we have extra plates, so we now put it like in, we did not use, we always wash it. So we have a policy to wash it. Why? Because you have a fingerprints, right? So like in order to put the plates, you touch it, so you have a fingerprint. So the next you have a guest, and they say, oh, what exactly you give me? Like, I mean, among the family it's normal, because who else touch it? It's only your family. But when you have stranger, it's not such a good idea. So we have this policy like to wash everything, especially knives. I tell you handle the knives, and the knife is clean, so I never use it, but you have fingerprints. So in a sense that's I mean I'm trying to rationalize how you would have this clean utensil washed. That's my explanation. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So bottom line, if the utensils or dishes have solid pieces of food, there's no way we should ever put like meat and dairy dishes into the same dish pan, even with cold water. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions, or we continue? Okay, so let's go to 8, cutlery. Found in a dishwasher of opposite type. Okay. A dairy spoon found in a meat dishwasher, or the reverse, should preferably be koshered. The spoon was certainly washed with the meat dishes. The water was certainly yatzaledas bo, so in these dishwashers. And there were certainly meat particles of the meat that may have come into contact with the spoon before the taste was ruined by the detergent. So that's exactly, I mean, continuation of what we said before, what you just brought up. And here's actually explanation for this case. So let me finish reading, and we're going to come back and explain. If the spoon was subsequently mixed with other daily cutlery, a Rav should be consulted. If the daily spoon was clean and non-benyamo, the meat dishes are not affected. If the spoon was soiled, Rav should be consulted. So let's do this 8 one more time, and we're going to explain. So Cutlery Found in a dishwasher of opposite type. So let's say they have two dishwashers. I'm not sure if they're like some like portable dishwasher, like small ones. I'm not sure. I think they we never had one, but somehow I think they were plus minus the same size. What size of the cabinet? So because they replace a cabinet. Okay, so a cabinets, like kitchen cabinets, they have a standard standard width. Okay, so let's see. So but in this case they have looks like two dishwashers. Okay, a daily spoon is found in a meat dishwasher. Daily spoon into a meat dishwasher, or the reverse. Should preferably be kosher. So preferably means not necessary, but I would say how is it possible that it did not absorb the taste, right? The spoon was certainly washed with the meat dishes. That's for sure. Nobody washed this one spoon, right? So for sure with meat dishes. The water was certainly yatzel adasbo. That's how the dishwasher operates. And there were certainly meat particles, right, in the water that may have come into contact with the spoon. I say you for sure got into contact with the spoon before the taste ruined by detergent. So first, the way I understand, it does like soaking with water, even hot water, I don't know, cold, whatever, how this thing works, and only after that detergent is added. So I guess because it would be waste of the detergent, start washing with detergent right away. That's a very interesting case. Very, very interesting case. So they said even before the detergent was introduced, right, into this washing process, it was already mixture meat and milk together in this spoon. Okay. If the spoon was subsequently mixed with other daily cutlery, right, a Rav should be consulted. I'm not sure. My understanding, he would say maybe because of the majority, right? So maybe we should not pay attention, because like after the fact, if you think about it, after the fact we washed it with detergent, right? But very interesting. So basically this daily spoons, and we don't know which one was washed together with the meat utensils. So that's the issue when you have this housekeeper, or you have somebody visiting you and trying to help you. So this help is a disaster basically. If the daily spoon was clean and non-benyamo, the meat dishes are not affected. So one more time, if the daily spoon was clean and non-benyamo, so I mean when they put it there, I'm not sure why they do that, but let's say they did anyway. The meat dishes should not be affected. Okay. If the spoon was soiled, a Rav should be consulted. In my mind, it was so much water, it was so much detergent, it was so much everything, like this taste, like what is forbidden is the taste, like a combination of the taste. So to say that we can, after all of this washing in the dishwasher, you can like taste the taste, like a combination of meat and milk together, even if it was soiled. I mean, in my mind, I don't think so. Okay, of course, we shine people to go stringently and So the next time they would not do the same mistake. But like logically, for sure, it's nothing to do with the biblical. Rabbinical, may not even, I don't know. So maybe some stringencies. Okay. So let's see. So now we're going to summary of section A. And the topic is the meat and dairy flatware washed together. Let me see how long is this chapter. That's very long. HaShem. So it says one who soaks flatware in hot water or in a Parve pot. So again, I mean, how practical is it? I'm not sure. Maybe somebody do that, somebody don't. I mean, we never soak dishes. Now on Shabbos, for example, so it is allowed, and we learned it is allowed. So you're not allowed to wash the dishes on Shabbos, right? Unless it's for the next day, and same with Yom Tov. But if it is a dirty dish or something, like dirty meaning you ate fish, right? Some fish that is going to smell next day, like some salty fish or some what is it, like herrings or some I don't know, what is it, smoked fish or something. Yeah, it smells delicious and amazing when you eat it, but after some time it starts smelling bad, and even like fried fish or something, the bones, right? So you're allowed to do what? You're allowed to wash the dishes, right? I mean, a little like wash over this thing in order for it not to smell, but to soak it in the water, I'm not sure. In the hot water, okay. So, but I guess people do. If he said that, people do. Okay. So one more time: one who soaks flatware in hot water in a Parve pot. Okay. Number one, according to Ashkenazi custom, if clean ben yama meat and dairy flatware, ben yama meaning okay, so they were clean. And they were used today, right, 2 hours ago, let's say. And they, for example, spoons that are washed together in a hot, clearly shown Parve pot. Both the pot and the spoons must be kosher. Okay, so I mean, okay, so one more time. I guess maybe in a bungalows or something that they would have this issue. So one more time. According to Ashkenazi custom, clean ben yama meat and dairy flatware, right? For example, spoons are washed together in a hot, clearly shown. So it was a hot pot, which is Parve, and they warm up water in this pot, and it was above Yatzeladas bone, right? And it was clearly shown. And now they washed clean flatware together, meat and dairy. So both pot and spoons must be kosher. Okay. So why? Because they were not binyama, meaning the taste was there. Okay. I'm not sure what would be the more practical example, but we have to take it as it is. This specific example, right? So they washed into in this thing. Okay. So continue. Number 2, if either of the clean spoons or of non benyamo or is not benyamo, both the spoons and the pot are unaffected. So one more time. So again, affected meaning that they have meat and milk together, the forbidden taste. So one more time. If either of the clean spoons is not benyamo, so we have clean spoons, meat and dairy. These dairy, let's say, we did not use for more than 24 hours. Both the spoons and the pot are unaffected. Why? Because there is no transfer of the taste. I mean, there is no forbidden mixture. And if it's benyamo, so it just 1 second. So they were not one of them was not benyamo, and this pot was clean. Okay, so in Parve, so nothing is affected. Okay, That's easy. Number 3, if the spoons were not inspected before washing, it is assumed that they contain some residue, which is, logical. Thus, both spoons and the pot, which in which they were washed, must be koshered. If either of the spoons was not ben yama, Rav should be consulted. Okay, so let's do this number 3 one more time. It's very, very interesting. So one more time, this number 3. If the spoons were not inspected before washing, it is assumed that they contain food residue. I mean, in my mind, like, it's not reasonable to assume that they were completely clean. So, like, it's always bothered me, like he said, they wash clean. I mean, okay. I mean, of course, his goal is to look at the different scenarios, but most of the time people use wood wash only something that is soiled. Okay, so if we do not know whether they're clean or not, so we assume they were soiled, which is make perfect sense. Thus, both the spoons and the pot in which they were washed must be kosher. Right? Again, was above Yad Salad as well. So, and they were not binyama. Well, they were binyama, meaning they were used in this day, but today. But we don't know if one of the type was clean or not. Okay, so we assume that it was not clean. If either of the spoons was not binyama, Rav should be consulted. If either of the spoon was binyama, so and another was soiled, a Rav should be consulted. I'm not sure. Okay. Let's leave it. I'm not sure. It's very interesting. Number 4, a clean meat and dairy ben yama flatware were washed one after the another in the same water. All poskim agree that even the second piece need not to be koshered. If the flatware was not clean, a Rav should be consulted regarding the second piece. Okay, so let's do it again. Number 4, and we're going to explain. So it's very interesting. So now we're talking about one after another. If clean meat and dairy ben yama flatware were washed one after the other in the same water, meaning you wash one. Again, we're talking about dish pan. There's no other scenario, right? We're not talking about sink, right? They wash something clean, and then another one type, or then another type. So meaning because there is no substance. Okay, so the way I understand. All poskim agree that even that second piece need not to be koshered. Okay. If the flatware was not clean, a Rav should be consulted regarding the second piece. So first piece, there is no problem whatsoever. Right? The problem might be with the second piece. Okay. Number 5. If the spoons were washed in a kli sheni, so a kli sheni meaning a second vessel, so they heat up in one vessel and then pour in another vessel. This, I mean, I said it's all of this example about this, what is it, a dish pan. It's not exactly that. No, it's a pot. It's not dish pan. I mean, when I say dish pan, I imagine this plastic thing where we have one, the plastic one, like rectangular, right? But that's not what they mean. I mean, when they say binyama, means something like it was on a fire. So it's we're talking about the what is it? The pot, like metal pot. Okay, so now they from this kli rishon that was on the fire, they pour maybe in this case into the dish pan. Okay, so that's our case. So one more time, if the spoons were washed in a kli sheni, meaning the second in the dish pan, Rav should be consulted. Okay, so it would depend on how hot was the water was, I guess. Number 6, if the clean spoons were washed together with a detergent, clean spoons, right? According to most poskim, they do not require koshering. Nevertheless, Rav should be consulted. Meaning, as we said, this detergent kills the taste. Number 7. If the spoon of one type is found among the cutlery of another, neither the spoon or the cutlery is required kashing, because it's going to be a nightmare, right? Number 8, the last one. A milk spoon found in a meat dishwasher should preferably be kashered, right? If the spoon was clean and non-ben yama, the other utensils are unaffected. Otherwise, the Rav should be consulted. So let's do 1.8, 1.1. I'm going to explain. If milk spoon found in a meat dishwasher, right, should preferably be kasher. So unless we know that it was clean, I don't know. How do we know it's clean? I don't know. If the spoon was clean, and if the spoon was clean and not ben yama. If the spoon was clean and not ben yama, right, meaning more than 24 hours, the other utensils are unaffected. Okay, so but if it's not clean and not ben yama, so Rav should be consulted. Okay, so all these cases. Any questions on what we said?
All right.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, we have a couple questions on the board.
Mm-hmm.
About both kitchen clothes and housekeeper and so on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first one says, does having a non-Jewish housekeeper apply to a shul that has a non-Jewish chef in charge of cooking? Is eating there likely not be kosher? What I have noticed from some shuls is that they have someone who is non-Jewish cooking.
Usually there is no dairy there, so that's it, period. There is no dairy, so you cannot go wrong. And if they have a coffee machine, for example, so a coffee machine would be like a totally different corner. So there is coffee room, where I was in like the disposable cups, right? So in this case, I mean, even though there's a non-Jewish chef, there is no problem. If he's under supervision, there is no problem. You're welcome.
For a dishcloth, is laundry enough to kasher them back to Parve?
Yes, that's for sure. It's the temperature is above Yatzela Desbo with all of this detergent for sure. Yeah. About the chefs, just so you know, so I many years ago I was very young, so I worked in for one guy, Jewish guy, of course, in a catering, Jewish catering. So I was the only Jew there, just so you know. So it was the owner, the guy in front, and me and other people on the back. That's it. So and these non-Jews, they knew like all of the recipe. They did such a wonderful jobs. You understand? With all of the Jewish dishes, professionals, right? So I don't think that people who would buy from they would ever they would think that this guy, this huge guy, that he was cooking. He was not cooking. I mean, he would give him directions, but I mean, the people were working for this guy for like 20 years. Spanish guys. I mean, unbelievable. They were like better than any, not better, but like very very good cooking. Like people like on Friday. Yes, I worked on Friday. Like it was open. There were like a line of people buying chicken soup. Like a chicken. The way these people did the chicken. Like it's first time in my life. So they would give shots into the chicken. They have this syringe, and they would take a chicken soup, hot chicken soup, and they did the shots before putting it in the oven. And unbelievable. None of them are Jews. Okay, very good. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Also, should we rely on this kitchen crew? Okay, not the kitchen crew. Should we ever eat at these places where the kitchen is full of course, non-Jewish cooks, and there's no Jewish supervisor around, like ever?
It's not. There is no such a thing. So for example, in this place that I worked, so like there is like in front there is a store. In the middle, it's what is it? It's a kitchen, and in the back where we did the parking and the delivery and stuff like that. So people like me or these other people come in and out like every time. So like they would not. I don't think it would enter any this guy's mind to do something. Like even the food. I mean, there's so much food. You know, like they would eat the lunch from wherever from wherever they were cooking. There is no like need for them even if they like the pork or something to bring the pork into the store. Why? Like it's free food to eat. Like I don't think anybody would stop them. I mean, maybe. I mean, but I don't think so. Just like. So in this case, basically the thing is that they were afraid that somebody would come in and see them they doing something improper. They would go lose their job. Right, so it was not worth it for them. You're welcome.
Question about borer. When soaking dishes in a dishpan or Shabbos, some grease and residue of food on the plates would inevitably float up. Does this count as borer? What should we do in this case?
No, it's not. It's not borer. I mean, the only issues could be in this case when you're soaking dishes. So you should soak it faster, okay? Because if it's like a greasy plate, so the grease would harden, and then you put in the warm water. If it's going to dissolve, that's the problem. But this borer, it's not like it's not. It's very like not direct. I mean, it's not like you don't benefit in any way. You understand? So there is no problem. So, but it's a very good question. But no problem.
Thank you, Albert.
You're welcome.
Would a used but visibly clean utensil be considered clean? For example, someone ate a salad with meat at the end. The fork does not have clear residue. Eve then found no meyom.
I didn't get how it could be clean if it's somebody ate the salad with this fork. So how could it be clean? I didn't get.
Doesn't say anything else.
But okay, could you read it again? Maybe I missed something. Please.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Would a used but visibly clean utensil be considered clean? I mean, perhaps there's no longer like solid pieces of food on the plate and it kind of looks clean, perhaps.
No. Oh, no. Clean means that it was washed. That's what it means, clean. So clean just because you're like they lick the spoon or something or a fork, like it looks clean, right? But it's not clean. It's soiled actually. If it was the question, no, it's considered to be soiled. So clean, literally clean. Okay, well.
Okay, so our friend says, if say you eat something dry on the plate,
it's still not clean. I mean, that's not what we consider clean. Clean is literally clean. You're welcome. So even if it's dry, like some particles with your saliva, right? It got stuck to the spoon or something. So and plus, since I told you I'm the one who washes dishes always after Shabbos. So you have to soak this cutlery, right? And when you touch, you eat soup, right? Soup, and it's clean. The spoon lid's clean, but it has this residue on top for sure, always. Even though it looks good, looks okay. There's no stain or something. There is no pieces, but it's not clean.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Is meat sink count as meat utensil? If so, when a pot of utensil is washed with hot water within the ben yoma meat sink and touches the bottom of the sink, does it render the pot of utensil meat?
I mean, you see, the water does not stay there. There's the thing. It's the flows down. But since it's clean, and if you, as we said, so that's why it's preferable to do everything with to be on the safe side, to wash everything with detergent. So in this case, there is no problem whatsoever. But usually, just so we understand, usually people wash. I mean, exactly as the person said. Usually, you wash meat dishes with what is it? With the Parve dishes, always. Okay, but in all of the cases, just again, the reminder, the big picture, we're afraid of the meat and dairy taste together. That's what we're afraid of. But even if you wash and let's say it's became meat, let's say right, this part of plate became meat for some time, but after some time, after 24 hours, it's no longer there, and plus detergent. So it's technically there is no problem whatsoever.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. If the person who cooked the food did not do Netilat Yadayim when needed and touched the food, does it make the food spiritually impure?
No, it does not. It's not. It's not that it's not this kind of impurity that can make food impure. So, what can make food impure? Only impurity when simple. I'm going to give example, right? So somebody went to a cemetery, right, and will try to bury somebody. I have a question today. Somebody asked me. I don't know about cemetery, right? So or he touched the dead body. Try to clean it. Okay, so and then he comes home, and he touched the food. Yes, so this food is going to be spiritual and impure. Or even if he touched his wife, right? He handled her something, touched her, and then she's so he's av hatuma, right? She's going to be rishon hatuma, he's like av because he touched the dead body, so he becomes like the body itself. At least he can transfer to other people, and she can transfer to utensil, and or she can transfer to foods. Yes, so the food would be impure, but technically there is no prohibition to eat impure foods. Just so we know, the only prohibition of this in the case of impurity is for a truma that the Kohen should eat. It should not be impure, but there is no problem for us to eat impure foods. Okay, some people were careful in the days of the temple. They would have like a separate utensil, and they were trying to keep only pure food. But it's, I mean, it's difficult because in my mind it's like a lot of details, but it's not even details. Many things that is impossible for you to check, right? So you have to buy things from Chaver. So who is Chaver? There is a special status of a person who is trustworthy. So you know, like he's not ignoramus, he's very God-fearing person, and there is special steps to acquire this status. And after you know that the person Chaver, so you can trust him. Basically, some Kashrut, like in olden days, like a stamp that whatever you buy from this person, for sure he sees separated truma, for sure he separated all the tithe, so you just can pay the money and start eating right away. Okay, and for sure there is no impurity and stuff like that. Okay, but otherwise, yeah. So the short answer to that question, there is no problem. You're welcome. And no problem, because it's not that kind of impurity. So that's the thing.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So in regards to this, not about the impurity that may be transmitted to the food, but in general terms, non-Jews, do they carry impurity in their hands, or is this just like for Jews?
I don't think so. No. Not the spiritual tuma. I don't think so. No.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. So when they say Dori Jew, there is something behind it. Meaning not a literal sense, but in the sense of purity. Right, so a Jew can be pure, or a man or woman, or impure, but with the Gentiles, it's always like flat status.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. Trying to go to the last question about Lashon Hara.
Mm-hmm.
If someone told us constructive negative information, and after investigation we find the information untrue, are we obligated to tell them?
True or not true? I didn't get it.
Untrue.
Untrue, okay.
Not true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I lost the... Okay, the information untrue. Are we obligated to tell the speaker his information is false?
Absolutely, yes. We have to, like he told us something truthful, and for example, as I'm just follow this example. It was pertaining to us, and we did an investigation and found out it was not true. So we have to let them know to stop spreading around these rumors. Yeah. You're welcome.
This question from Kolbahat says Jews can serve HaShem in a higher level and fulfill more mitzvahs than non-Jews.
Mm-hmm.
And almost all the non-Jews can convert and become a Jew.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean the only way for a non-Jew to maximize their potential and serve HaShem in the full extent is through conversion?
Yeah, I mean from the question that is obvious answer. Yes, absolutely. Right. And same goes for the Jews. Right, you can serve as a regular person, as a tzaddik. So as we said many times, the definition of the tzaddik is somebody that does everything that it says in Shulchan Aruch. Of course, everything a person working on himself daily, that's a given. But at least he's striving to do like everything that it says in Shulchan Aruch, and he or she has mitzvahs, like more than averos, so 51% mitzvahs, so the person is considered to be tzaddik. right? And basically, if he dies, he goes to Gan Eden in a good place, right? But in Mesilat Yesharim, there is 26 chapters. 26 chapters. So until the chapter 12, that's they talk about the tzaddik, right? So of course we start as it says, David Hamelach told us in Tehillim 34, stop Averis and start doing good. So we stop. So the person has to work on his character, stop doing all of the sins, and then the second part is the zehirus and zerizus, like alacrity with enthusiasm. So you start doing positive things. And it's all up to the 12 chapters. And from chapter 13 and upwards, so he is teaching us how to be Hasid. So Hasid is a person who does whatever HaShem said and does plus, wants to go on a higher level. Right, so in a sense, I'm just trying to draw the parallel. Same if a non-Jew wants to serve Hashem on the highest possible level, he would convert to become a Jew, and same with a Jew. Just because he wasn't born a Jew does not mean that he serve Hashem on the highest possible level. Even if he absorbed with the mitzvahs, we're not talking about he's absorbing the mitzvahs. Still, there is a step up for him and go up and become Hasid, right? And this chapter actually starts from abstinence. So abstinence from the things that actually allowed. So because Hasid, is it obligated? No. Is it unbiblical? No. Is it rabbinical? Absolutely not. Yeah, but whatever the Ramchal teaches us, and actually in the Michtav Meliyahu, I mean that they all come from different directions. That's how you see the diamond, from different directions, but it's the same core. So the person who wants to sanctify himself, so must just do in a physical life. So like apply like everything for sanctity of Hashem, right? And not for indulgence, right? So whatever food extra, he would not eat. Like whatever delicious food and it takes 3 hours to cook, he said absolutely not. Or spend a lot of money. Just because it's delicious does not mean that you should spend a lot of money, right? Because it shows that you're into food. But when it comes to new books, they say I don't have. Or it comes to the tzedakah, the person is stingy. So it shows clearly you have a personal preference. Like in some neighborhood where I live, so I have a chavrusa. And he told me it's and I heard from like some time ago from one very very famous rabbi. So he said that he was very upset about it. So it became a trend. So what is a trend in a Jewish neighborhood? This I think I'm modern Orthodox. Maybe not so modern, but it's like trend to go to the wine store and start tasting the wines. I mean the owner, of course, he has allowed, no problem. So and they would buy like not normal bottles, but $40 and $50 and $60, $100 bottle, like some craziness. So that's what Mesilat Yesharim said. Absolutely not. So if wine is kosher, so it costs $7, $5, whatever it costs, that's good. Is it kosher? Yes. Is the company reliable? Absolutely. So, but wasting all of this money and like a gourmet or something, like it's too much. It's too much. Understand? So it's always for us a way to do better and much better. So Hashem, not you come to a specific level, whatever the level is, you can do much more. Right? And the reward is according. Okay. Okay, what else? You're welcome.
So in regard to this question, I was thinking, just like making a parallel with my personal case, one of the main reasons that I decided to start a process of conversion to Judaism was because I could not find strong tools or tools that were not strong enough to fight my Yetzer Hara. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't find them around. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's such a thing for a Noahide, but say the books and the things that are forbidden for non-Jews to study are very useful and handy tools to fight back the Yetzer Hara. So I was thinking, was it just my case that I decided to do so because of this, or are there okay, let me just reformulate the whole thing.
Okay, please.
Do not just have a way to fight back their Yetzirah with what they have, what they are allowed to study?
I think so. Yes, I think so. That's a very good question. With Musar, and actually that's one of the bigger topic than the laws. Of course, the laws are very important, but there are not so many laws and not so many. I mean, there are a lot of details, but not so much. Not like with this kosher kitchen. Just so we know, we go with a speed maybe 2 pages and a class, right? Because it's so much information and it's so complicated. I mean, even for me, it's kind of so. Don't be frustrated because it's a lot of information. It's very like tedious, like that. Tiny details, very important, of course, right? But for no-hides, there is no such like tiny details and deep, like 3 levels, 10 levels. It's not. It's everything like much more simpler, right? On one hand, but on the other hand, they're obligated to learn Musar and work on their character. So working on developing the character is applied to Jews and non-Jews. Yeah, so there are tools, right? But the thing is that even if you're nochide, right, and you work on yourself and you're good nochide, so your reward is like, and you are able to contain yourself like from like stay away from many sins. Still, your reward is not even close to compare to the Jewish reward, like a Jewish person who did even less than you, right? So if you're going to work on yourself, if you're going to do things because you love HaShem, so why don't you go to the top? Like in my mind, it does not make sense. You're welcome.
Okay, so we got some questions that were put on the board before the class started that I forgot to read.
Okay, go ahead.
Apologies to our friend. So it says, question, if one eats approximately 20 grams of one species of fruit from the land of Israel, example, date syrup from Israel, and then consumes approximately 40 grams of grapes from elsewhere, do we recite the after blessing pertaining to the fruit of Israel or the other one?
What's that? But second one, grapes, right? Second food, 40 grams worth of grapes.
Just 40, first 20 grams of the species of fruit from the land of Israel, and the second 4 grams of grapes from elsewhere.
Elsewhere, there is no problem. So you say, so this, there is special like changing of the word, and if you know for sure that these fruits came from Israel, but if not, so you just assume that they if not, or it's not enough, you did not eat enough. So the person specifically say only 20 grams, not 28. So 20 adds to 20. To the 40, and you say regular me'am shalosh, right? And you on heights. That's it. That is very simple, because it was not enough to change the blessing to the fruit of Israel. And just to continue subject, like one thing. So if you ate these grapes, or you ate always whatever the person ate, right, and also ate apple and orange or something. So in this case, still only one blessing is required. So if a person say me'am shalosh, this three parts blessing on the fruits on the fruits, and it's going to include these fruits as well. Even though if you eat this apple separately, orange separately, you would say barene fashos, like regular blessing. You're welcome.
Second question. Say if the Torah, Bet Midrash, Bet Knesset is in the same room as a room shared with a preschool or school kosher or allowed, if they're used at separate times, say the kids all also do not have appropriate behavior or speech.
I'm not sure. Could you please apologize? Could you read it again? I'm not sure what's the issue. So there is one building, and they have shul, and they have base medrash, and they have some preschool or whatever, kindergarten, and they all share the same room. I didn't get it.
Yeah, it does say the same room. I don't know.
Room? Okay. So yeah, go ahead. And then what? So what's the problem?
So they say the Torah, Bet Midrash / Bet Knesset
Yes.
is in the same room as a room shared with a preschool or a school. Then it says kosher / allowed if they are used at separate times.
I mean, if there is no other way, yeah, they can use it separate times. So in this case, it's a very good question. So it's would be proper to put some kind of like cover, like a curtain or something, or some like they have a divider in front of the iron kodesh. So that would be proper to not to desecrate the bake, because in a shul and a basement, it's not supposed to be like people are running and people like screaming like these little kids. I mean, go to talk to little kids. It's a holy. Okay, that's mission impossible. So if the people have no choice, and I actually knew about this school. I'm not sure how long there was the program, but I think it did not last long. But for whatever reason, but since it was the only a place available, and for that person, this lady was trying to organize the Jewish kids and do whatever, like the day program with them. Of course, there's there's nobody from Shul in there, so they gave her the show, but she was doing everything in a woman's section, so it would be no problem then. Right, so I'm not sure what they do, but whatever, arts, crafts, I don't know, whatever they do. Maybe even some music, I don't know, whatever they do. So that would be like, if there is no other way, it would be no problem. So, and even if that room in the main sanctuary, when they pray, so just cover the Aron Kodesh, yes.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
The rest of the question. Okay. Yeah, I guess the rest of the question was already covered. Let's say the kids also do not have appropriate behavior or speech.
Yeah, I mean that's expected, basically.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question to the left. Is it appropriate to kiss the Torah or Holy Sefer directly? Also to touch the mezuzah and then kiss your hand?
Okay, so I mean, if you're talking about a printed book, there is no problem. I mean, if you wanna kiss it, you can kiss the words directly. Some people do that. There is no problem. But usually people, what they do, I finish reading it here, right? They do like this and kiss my fingers. So it's like so the point of the kiss. So this the idea of the kiss. So make this word be on my lips. That's the kiss. Understand? That's what is it represents, right? The Torah, it's a bigger problem. So it's like a disrespect a little to the Torah. I mean, we're not allowed to touch the actual the Torah scroll, the parchment itself. You're not allowed to touch. It's forbidden. So it says actually the person, there's also a death penalty. I mean, from Shemaim who touched. So that's why we're very careful, unless it's you have no choice. So maybe you're sewing together the pieces, you ascribe, you fixing things, or like or other than that. But otherwise, we don't touch the scroll. So you take with a talus, with a something like napkin, like something very very respectful, but not with the bare hands, with the gloves or something. Right.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
the sink water enough to purify our hands, but not enough to purify for a nidah.
Could you start from the beginning? Oh, what water? From where?
The sink water.
Oh, sink water is enough to purify our hands, but not enough to purify nidah. I mean, first of all, is a size of the woman, size of the hands. I mean, the different size. So our sages say there is a special requirement for water. So first of all, it should be live water. Live water, what does it mean? So it collected there by itself. You might have pipes, but it should flow by the gravity. So to one place, or like from top to bottom, or from bottom to top, right? Like some kind of spring, or from the roof you collect this rainwater or something. You understand? So and I would just say that to purify a woman, so you need 40 seah. So I don't remember exactly like how many gallons of seah for 40 seah, but it's a lot. So basically, our bathtub is approximately 40 seah. So meaning when a regular person, average person would lie down, right, in some kind of like bathtub, let's say it's long enough, because ours are not long. Our bathtubs, I think, is 5 feet. 5 feet long. So it's like maybe for kids, yes, but for adults, you can only sit there. Right, but the normal person would lay down and it would be covered with water. That's a 40 seah. But of course, in our mikvahs, there's much more than 40 seah, much more, right? And right, so that's a biblical definition of the mitzvah is 40 seah. But whatever, when we purify our hands, it's first of all, it's not biblical, it's rabbinic, right? And it's, second of all, it's only hands. Right, and even if you don't have enough, so you can like according to some opinion, up to the knuckle, like the complete fingers. But according to the most lenient opinion, even like the first after the first knuckle, like tip of the fingers. No. The first, I think second, if I remember correct, second. So and it's enough. So basically, you can wash with the what is it? With revis. Is revis for each hand? I think it's enough to wash with revis on both hands. So revis is 3.2 ounces. It's like 86 point something grams. That's it. So that's enough to remove impurity. But for a nidah, you need 40 seah. It's like a bathtub. Big difference.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. Uncle Rav, is being competitive a negative midas? If one is very competitive, what is a potential problem for one who has this type of personality?
I mean, it's all of the types of personality have to be channeled to the right place. So if somebody is competitive, so it says you're not allowed to be jealous, except that there is one exceptional jealousy about you're allowed to be jealous about somebody's Torah, right? About somebody's spiritual achievement. Why? Because there is no barriers. Nobody said that you cannot do the same. Why? Because all of the wisdom of the Torah is gifts of HaShem. Period. And if you want it bad enough, if you want it bad enough, and you you're going to show HaShem, please make me smart, please make me understand, please make me remember, and you work, so you're going to achieve even more than that person, because it has nothing to do with IQ, and it has nothing to do with anything. So, and I know some people who are smart in some other fields. In a Torah field, they are like I don't know, 3 years old. Right? Even though on other fields, I don't know, in some science maybe they understand thing or two maybe, but even there I doubt. You understand? So you can be jealous, and this it's a very good jealousy. This jealousy is something that is going to push you on top. It's very good. So you want to be holy, right? It's a famous story about Rambam. So I think the story goes, I don't remember the whole story, but he asked his father to teach him. He said, look, you stop it, please. Your brother, your older brother, yeah, and he was the youngest, and he was not very smart adult boy. Let's put it this way. I'm not sure, he was 9 or 10 years old. So he went to Shul at night, and he was crying and crying. So Rambam was crying and crying and crying in the Aron Kodesh. So he opened Aron Kodesh, and he asked HaShem of the wisdom, and that's it. Right? And since then, we know who Rambam is and what he achieved. So I'm telling you, so I've been learning Rambam, Mishnah Torah, for many years. Of course, I mean, not every day, not many hours, but long enough. And I did not complete, I don't know how much I completed, I don't know. Some things I went 2 times, some things I went over 3 times, but doesn't matter. I'm still did not complete. Let's put it this way. You understand? So some things is very, very difficult. We go very slow, but he wrote it in very fast in several languages. Just so you know, he learned in Hebrew. Then somebody asked him to translate to Arabic, and then he translated just because somebody asked him. It's unbelievable. Right, and then he was, according to other people, not very smart, like in order like even to teach you. He had no potential until he started asking HaShem, I want to be something. I want to understand as my brothers at least. And he became Rambam. And what is the names of his brothers? Nobody knows. His son, yes, Abraham ben Rambam. Right? Yeah, he knows. We know. Sometimes we have his commentary, but his brother, nobody knows. You understand? So that's being competitive with channel to the right channel, right? It's very good. Very good. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So what happens in the case of a Jewish woman? Because I've seen, I don't know, how groups are being competitive against each other in order to grow in Torah and so on. But what about a woman? Who should her be, competitive against? Woman. So
I guess she has a big, not any specific woman, against Yetzer Hara, right? Yetzer Hara, how other women dress and what they do, right? And not to be like that. So it's a competition, meaning that you're trying to stay away. So, like in my mind, what was competitive person who has very strong willpower, and not to give in. Like it doesn't matter how the hard situation is. So he wants to win. She wants to win. So I want to be on the team HaShem, right? And that's it. So that's very, very strong. And plus push her husband, right? Push her husband because many times people need the encouragement. Right, and some people say, "Yeah, I need encouragement," but then they disappear. But if it's your husband, there is nowhere that he can disappear to. So that's very good competition, right? With kids, help them, encourage them. That is, it's a very good character trait.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Our friend says about this issue of the sink water and the nida. Friend says, so why can we not use sink water but have to use a special water for nida?
No, but because it is a biblical. It says that it must be life water. So all of this water for about other purification, we learn actually from the requirement of the mikvah for nida. So of course all other laws are more like more lenient. For example, than the mikvah of man. So it's not biblical. So it's more lenient, right? In some cases. So mikvah for dipping dishes. No, it's actually the mikvah for dipping dishes. The laws are much stricter than mikvah for men because it's biblical. to towel the dishes. Okay, and is more like, and it's even more rabbinical. So mikvah for men, it's not even rabbinical, just so we know, right? But washing of the hands, it is rabbinical. So in many laws, what water we can use, what water we cannot use, we actually learn from from the laws of Nida. So it's like the main laws. So all other laws are the derivatives from that one. Okay. So I just want to say before we continue, so don't leave early. So we have on Thursday we decided we're going to end the week with a story. So I prepared 2 stories, very interesting story for you guys. So go ahead, just announcement. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Okay, next question. If we are to find something on the street in a non-Jewish neighborhood and there is no way to return it, are we allowed to use it? Let's say a piece of jewelry, or is it better to get rid of it or sell it? Thank you.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. You're not, obligated to return. First of all, you can use it if you want to. You can sell it if you want. It's your own business. There is no such a halachah. Well, what should you do with that? And plus, if you want to do Kiddush HaShem, if it's very expensive, and so you can try to see, but have to be prepared. So many crooks are going to come and try to claim it. So is it worth it? I don't know. So if it's hard to find. But there is no such obligation. That's the bottom line. I mean, there is no obligation to return, so you can do whatever you want.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. Thank you for the Shiur. Question. If one is converting because of a strong desire to serve HaShem, but also has a huge desire for the reward of a Jew after this life, would this be a kosher conversion?
I mean, that's very, very good and honest question. So I would say so, as our Talmud and Pesachim says. So if somebody comes to serve Shul Lishma, let him serve. Don't rebuke him, because it's going to bring to Lishma. So once a person starts serving, not for the sake of the mitzvah, but because of the reward, or because some other things, so he's going to come and serve like at the end, because the one mitzvah brings another mitzvah, and person learns, and only it's a matter of time, unless he's like some kind of pervert. He's going to come to serve because of the because HaShem said so. And same as here, if a person put his or her goal, I want to convert because I love HaShem and I do His will. So, and it's proper to say, okay, but what does it mean, His will? So whether I understand or not, whether I'm going to receive reward or not, that does not make any difference. You understand? That's the proper ideology. So, but on the same in the same hand, we know, in the same way we know that Hashem rewards everybody for every little thing that we do. So, like, it's natural. Just put the thought aside about the reward, and you're going to get reward. It's like you come into to work and you're being paid semi-monthly, right? So, and you started. You just started yesterday, and you come to the boss. Are you going to pay me? Yeah, I'm going to pay you. I told you it's on the 15th, right? On the internet. Yeah, you told me, sorry. So next morning you come, the boss can ask you a question, just one question. Yeah, what? Are you going to be paid on the 15th? Like, you normal, I told you, like, go do some work. Of course, so we said we're going to pay. Like, why is so annoying? So that's sometimes we always concern ourselves whether we're going to be rewarded or not. Hashem said that we're going to reward it. It's his word is better than his stamp, right? His stamp is emes, right? The truth. This guy, he said he going to be paid on the 15th. Maybe he did. Maybe he made a mistake, and he's paperwork, right? Maybe he forgot. Maybe he's going to get fired himself. Maybe he is going to fire you. Nobody said that you're going to. I mean, he said, but it's only assumption that you're going to get paid on 15th, right? So there are many things that can go wrong. But with Hashem, there is nothing can go wrong. He said, I'm going to pay. I'm going to reward. That's it's going to be, right? You're welcome.
So I have a question about Jewish intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
So we see that what happened with Ishmael. We see that Abraham and Agar, of course, cohabited, and one can assume 100% that Abraham during this time had holy thoughts 100% because he was one of the holiest people ever. And one may imply not be the case with Agar. So I was wondering, is Ishmael like a clear example of what would happen if one of the two parties doing intimacy is having holy thoughts and the other one is not? We see in Ishmael that he has this, Ishmaelim have this desire to, to be attached apparently to Hashem, but they have horrible character traits from the Mizrim. They have the devotion of Abraham, and the character traits from the Mizrim. I was wondering if this is the case.
I'm not sure. It's a very good question. I'm not sure if it was Hio's fault 100%, and I'm going to explain. I mean, she was living with Abraham all this time, and as we remember the story, that when she was in the desert with Ishmael and he was sick, she put it under the one bush, and she separated from him, and she started crying. The angel of Hashem came to her and started talking to her. So meaning that she was on such a high level that she was that Rashi explained that she was not even scared. Right, just imagine yourself. You're somewhere in the desert, dying, right, and somebody starts speaking to you. There's nobody around, right? I would get scared, right? But she did not. And Rashi explained that Medrash explained, right, that because she used to the angels in the house of Abraham. So, and if she used to see the angels in the house of Abraham, meaning that she was spiritual in a high place. Right? Maybe she went down after they separated with Abraham, but to say that she was very, very impure, I mean, I don't know. So it's hard to say. Maybe at that moment, because she was Egyptian and maybe in a house of Abraham she was holy, but then she was attached to the idols of her father. So maybe it's like swaying. So some people are swayed. That depends who invited them. Some kosher people or not kosher. They can eat somebody. So somebody told me I went to visit such and such person, but I said and we had a wonderful dinner together. But I said to that person, but this person is not Jew. Oh, and that person said, oh, I mean, did not even enter his mind that maybe you should not go. I don't know. Depends who invite them. That's also a problem. But so I'm not sure about how this Ishmael, like a background story. I'm not sure 100%. To blame everything on Hagar. I mean, just because Abraham was holy and that's it. I don't know. Maybe Hashem had this plan. I don't know. It's a very interesting question. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
The last question on the board says, regarding this same question, since Ishmael was born before the Brit Milah of Abraham Avinu, should this be a factor?
It could be like just one second. We just learned somewhere. Okay. So yeah. So some it's being born from somebody who is uncircumcised. It's like they call it the being born in impurity. Okay, so it's not it was not like his fault or something, our own fault, but yeah, it's not on such a big level, not on such a high level as to be circumcised. Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Have any other questions?
I think, yeah, that was the...
Okay, so let's try to go to the stories. So I prepared two stories for you, very, very interesting. So so we had many questions about the dogs, right? Recently. So here's the question about the dogs. I have two stories. Let's see how long it's going to take us. About the dogs, and it's from Parasha Bo. So the books Varev now. And the topic is the memory of the pet dog. Okay, so they're going to connect to the verse Shmos 11:7, where it says, "Toward the children of Israel, the dog will not wet its tongue." Okay, so that's a famous verse. Challenge. Of course, there is a war in Israel, right? It says during the 2008 Israeli Defense Force initiative, Operation Cast Lead, Palestinian rockets hailed down on the southern Israeli cities. So, I mean, nothing changed as we understand from that time, right? Within the range of Gaza. A rabbi who worked in a field of Kirov decided to drive to one city, Ashkelon, in order to strengthen the hearts of the residents through Torah study and the Mitzvot. Okay, so he said, and that's what they do now. And unfortunately, this where the missionary also go, but rabbis go and they try to distribute tzitzis and tehillim and stuff like that. Okay, tefillin, right? Suddenly, as he drove along the highway in his car, he heard a warning siren blare. Okay, listen to this, right? The procedure is the way I understand in Israel when he heard the siren, not to be in a car. Right? Not to be in a car, so you go out of the car and lay on the ground somewhere. Okay, because of whatever reasons. Okay, so he had the warning siren, and he swerved to the side of the road in order to race to the protective shelter. Okay, so he was trying to run to the shelter, right? Just as he did so, a dog that was also frightened by the siren jumped beneath his wheels in his car and was crushed to death. You got the story. The rabbi was trying to go to Ashkelon to give chizuk to the people, and what happened? There was siren, and he was trying to pull next to the bomb shelter, and the dog got scared from the siren, jumped in front of his car, and he had no time basically, and he killed the dog. Okay, when the siren stopped, the rabbi returned to his car. He saw a crowd of people gathered around the secular couple who were weeping next to the dead dog. He realized that it must have been their dog that he killed. I mean, okay. So, and people are crying, right? For them, it's like a baby, right? He offered them his sincere apologies, explained that it had been unavoidable accident, right? So he said, I did not even see it keep coming. He just jumped in between my wheels, right? He said, I cannot bring back your loved pet, but please at least let me pay you for anguish I caused. So, I mean, what else can he say, right? So the dog is dead. So he said, maybe I can pay you something. I don't know, to buy another puppy. This rabbi does not know how much people pay for dogs. Okay, but okay, he offered. The couple was surprised by such a thoughtful commiseration from the ultra-Orthodox Jews. So these not religious people, actually, they hate religious people, just so we know. Right? More than they hate Palestinians. Maybe now they hate Palestinians more, but before that, it was exactly opposite. How do I know? I have relatives in Israel. And sometimes they tell me what they really think. So they say, you're different, but... it's time to separate. It's time to say, I need to go. Okay, I need to go. Right? Okay. So they did not. They did not think that ultra-Orthodox Jew can have some feelings for dogs, for grief, for other people. Understanding? Okay. Right. There's one more time. The couple was surprised by such a thoughtful commiseration from an ultra-Orthodox Jew who seemed to truly share their grief, right? He was sincere, absolutely. You see people crying, okay, of course you get upset. This sincerity broke down the wall of misconception and that alienates many secular Israelis from the Torah Judaism, right? So they say these people, the cockroaches of the world and stuff like that, bloodsuckers, whatever they call us, right? Okay, so now they say, yeah, maybe they're not such a bad people. Okay. They accepted his apologies and started talking, and ultimately invited him to visit their home to deliver Torah lecture to them in the neighborhoods and their neighbors. So they say, like, hey, come to our house. It's very, very friendly, right? And all of the neighbors come, and anyway, we have in the middle of the war, so we hear some of the words of the Torah. The first lecture was great success, which led to the ongoing bi-weekly series, which grew in popularity. And more neighbors joined, right? Okay, very good. Finally, the couple offered to turn their basement into the study hall, right? So maybe a huge basement, I don't know, in the study hall, where the guest lecturers would come to deliver Torah classes to the community on a regular basis. So I see it's a holy couple, it's a Jewish soul. I mean, Jewish heart, they want to do good. Okay, so they say, yeah, they like the Torah so much, you use our basement. Okay. The rabbi was thrilled with the idea and was grateful to the couple for their help of spreading Torah and Mitzvot to their secular community. He was also impressed by this steady advancement that they make in their own Torah observance. Meaning they, in Israel, it's so easy, like to keep kosher in Israel. Wow. It's much harder to keep not kosher in Israel, right? But okay. So, but and some other like religious articles, it's very simple to buy. Okay, whatever. So we got the point. So he was impressed. They were impressed by him. He was impressed by them. Here we go. Listen to this. A couple then asked to help them to phrase the dedicatory plaque, right? They plan to hang above the entrance of the study hall. So usually, like if you wanted to dedicate your something like in the Shul many times, so I have this like next to me where I stand, like they put the plaque. No, I mean long time ago. So the Aran Kodesh, it's like all of wood, this and that, like cost probably like a lot of money, like very tall. So there is a plaque, who paid for it, dedication, this and that. So it's there is no problem. So they also wanted to do some plaque with the dedications above the entrance. So they only had a little need a little help about the wording. Okay, listen to this. Study hall, which is intended to name Zichron Igor. Zichron Igor, in the memory of Igor. And the rabbi said, who is Igor? Right? The rabbi asked. Igor was the one responsible for the Torah revolution in our community, our beloved dog, whose death brought us to know you and ultimately to establish these Torah classes in our home. So, I mean, these people, they're absolutely serious. They want, and whatever they say, if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. So because of this dog, right, the memory of our beloved dog Igor, right, so we want to name this study hall, right? Because of you killed the dog, I mean, right? The dog, and because of that, we met you, and because of that, we have these beautiful Torah classes. So it's because of the ego, right? Makes sense. Right? What better thing to do in memory than to establish Torah learning center, right? Okay, right, in the dog's memory. Our only question is if we should write to the on a plaque, that it was killed in a car accident, or it should write that it was a war victim. So they did not have any issue like to name this Torah institution in some sense, right? With the name of the dog. The only question they say, in a warning, should we say it died in a car accident or it was a war victim? Which is both of them make sense, right? Since the bomb silent caused the crash. Okay. These were very noble sentiment from a couple that had just started their path toward Torah observance. But the rabbi questioned the appropriateness of naming the Torah center after the dog. Right. So I mean, but we have to understand that you have to be very, very sensitive in this issue. Don't say no right away. So why? Continue. He asked them for a few days to think about and think about the wording of the dedicatory plaque. Okay. In the meantime, he posed the issue to Rabbi Zilberstein, Shlita, right? Made the name of the Torah Study Center after their dog, or wording should be, or it would be disgrace to the honor of the Torah. So, which is, if you think about it, like. If you tell them no, like they would be very they would not understand why. So I mean, in their mind there is no problem. So the dog was the cause of the starting of the lecture. Yes, so let's name it memory of the dog. What is the problem, right? Right, but is it the denigration to the Torah? Solution. Gemara in Yoma 9a cites a teaching in the name of Rav Yochanan ben Torsa. So that's a famous story. That's, if you never heard the story, it's worth it to hear it. Listen to this. A torsa in Aramaic for a cow. So his name, again, Rav Yochanan ben Cow. Okay, strange name, no? Tosafos Yeshanim cites a medrash, Besikta Rabasi 14, which explained the source of this unusual name. A Jew had a cow with which he plowed the field for 6 days a week and let it rest on Shabbos, as usual, right? His fortune deteriorated until he was forced to sell the cow to a Gentile. So it was Jewish cow, used to rest on Shabbos, and he sold to a Gentile. Gentile plowed with the cow throughout the week. When Shabbos came, the Gentile harnessed the cow to plow with it again, but the cow sat down on the ground. So this cow did not want to move, sat down on the ground. As much as the Gentile pushed and prodded the cow, it refused to budge. Right? Not on Shabbos. A Gentile then went back to the original owner and demanded the money back. So on Shabbos, right? So who needs this cow? Your cow worked fine for 6 days, but now it would not move at all, he complained. I mean, I want my money back, a refund, right? It's very interesting. The Jew understood and came the cause of the problem and accompanied Gentile back to the field where the cow sat. So hopefully he did not go beyond the boundary of Shabbos. Let's say not. Okay, let's say not. Okay. He whispered in the cow ears, "While you work for me, you rested on Shabbos. Now you belong to Gentile, and you must work for your master 7 days a week." The cow heeded his words and got up and began to plow the field. So the cow got used to not to work on Shabbos. Was sold to the Gentile. The Gentile tried to work on the Shabbos. Cow did not want to budge. So he went to the Jew. Jew said, "Oh, I understand. I apologize. There is one thing I have to tell the cow. I have to reset the cow, right? There is a button reset, so I have to reset like to the factory defaults that it should work on Shabbos, right? So he says, no, I apologize, cow. He's right. Now you belong to him. You have to do a factory default, work on Shabbos." So this guy asked, of course, what kind of witchcraft did you do? Did you use on the cow, right? As this Gentile, how did you get it to move, right? So I mean, technically, he wants to do he wants to know what to do next time. But the Jew explained that what happened. The Gentile was struck with astonishment, and he said, "If the senseless beast recognized its creator and does his will, then I, who was created in the image of God and granted human wisdom, should certainly do his will." He reasoned, right? He converted to Judaism and applied to himself the Torah study, and finally became who? Talmudic sage. Listen to this. This guy who was a Gentile, who was working on the field, and basically he got inspired from who? From the cow, right? And he not only inspired, but he took his name, right? Since the convert is like since the convert is like a newborn child, the convert in our story looked toward the cow that inspired him as a father of the sort. So, like, father is a person who like direct the person hopefully in the right path. So in this case, the cow directed this person in the right path. So it's like his spiritual father, right? Therefore, he called himself Ben Torsa, right? Son of the cow. We see from here that it is no disgrace to credit animal with the Torah achievements, right? Whether for conversion or for establishing a Torah center. However, perhaps a distinction may be made between the cow, which is kosher animal, and dog, which is not kosher. So Rabbi Zilberstein, Shlita, so he is such a genius. It's unbelievable. So in Torah, when the people bring him the challenges and it's unbelievable challenges, right? And the Beezrat HaShem, Lerner, so but I'm planning to have maybe every Thursday night to have this to finish the week with this ancient Eastern story, right? So he said, yeah, the story is like a similar, but not. There it was kosher animal, and here is not kosher animal. Continue. The story is told that Chazon Ish, of the Chazon Ish, that when he asked to have dog removed from his courtyard, so somehow I don't know how the dog got there, he would not even say the Hebrew name Kelev for dog, right? But instead spelled out the words Kaf Lamet Vav. So take out this Kaf Lamet Vav, right? Seem to imply that the word Kelev is disgraceful. Okay, so we see it's very very much like this Yochanan bet Torah, but right, but maybe not. Continue. When asked why he did so, he said that the Tosefta in Bechoros 1:2, Bechoros is like Bechor is firstborn, right? That states the donkey is the only impure animal whose firstborn is sanctified, while the dog is the only impure animal that may not be traded for a kosher animal in order to use the kosher animal for the sacrificial korban. Before we continue, let's try to understand. So Chazon Ish Zatzal explained what is the problem. So we know that donkey is from impure animal is the highest, because you have to like exchange the firstborn of the donkey to the what is it? And you have to give coin, right? So coin is a rightful owner. You have to give a sheep, like a baby sheep or a baby goat, right? Instead of the donkey, and the donkey you can give. If you don't not going to give this with a sheep or a goat, so you have to kill the donkey. If I remember correctly, you cannot give the donkey. You have to give the sheep or the goat. Okay. So continue. Right, and about dog is said it says if you have a dog and you extend it for a sheep, for example, so you cannot bring the sheep to the Beis Hamikdash. But if you sold the dog and use the money and then bought the sheep, there is no problem. But regular exchange is not going to work. Just so meaning work, meaning that you can bring the sheep as a sacrifice in the Beis Hamikdash. Continue. This implies that whereas the donkey is the most elevated impure animal, the dog is the lowest. So because of this thing, it says only about the dog. The Medrash Mos Rabbah 42:9 further states three are exceptionally brazen. Right? Three except what? The dog is the most brazen of animals. So meaning brazen, what does it mean brazen? So sometimes you would walk by the dog and it was like it would jump. Like for example, behind the fence, it's going to jump on the fence and it's ready to kill you. Like what did they do to you? Like did they intrude your territory? It's like I'm walking on a sidewalk, not even close to the fence. So that's the most brazen animal, and plus in relationships, intimate relationships also. Right, the chicken is the most brazen. Chicken is the most brazen of the birds, and Jews are the most brazen of the people. Right, so to being brazen, is it good or not? So let's see. Commentary quickly. Right, so again, dog is the most brazen of the animal. Chicken is the most brazen of the birds, and Jew is the most brazen of the people. Commentary. The Medrash proceeds to explain that in the case of the Jews, our brazenness can also be a virtue. So it's not brazenness, not always negative, right? We boldly defend the Torah principles, even in the point of martyrdom, right? So meaning that we were ready to die and said absolutely not, right? As just quickly from this documentary about Rabbi Yitzchak Zilber Zatzal. So they have was a meeting in a school where he worked, and they wanted to take away the kids from him, right? And it was like pressure, and the one woman, like this communistic woman, she said, we're going to have era of communism, like coming soon, and you're going to be believe in God. Like believe in God was like they can kill you. Like I will put you in prison if you say believe in it. Said, yeah, I'm going to believe in God. And when communist comes, you're going to, yes, so you're going to be the only. So he said, yeah, I'm going to be the one person who believes in God. So they was like they went crazy when he said so. And so sometimes Jew must be very, very brazen. Okay, continue. On the other hand, there are several instances in which our sages note the virtues of dogs, right? So meaning they're impure on one hand, but on the other hand, there are many stories in the Talmud that praise the dogs, that save their owners, right? The Talmud in Yerushalmi, Trumas 8.3, tells the story of a person who invited this distinguished Rav to his home and set him at the head of the table besides his dog. Can you imagine? So invite a distinguished Rav, had him at the center of the table next to the dog. Have you brought me here to insult me? The Rav asked. So I'm like, if you don't know the things, of course it's like looks like insult. Not at all, answered the host. I mean only to honor the dog by placing it at the head of the table. So like you, of course you Rav, you deserve, but I want to give honor to dog as well. So I'm deeply in debt to this dog. When the kidnapper tried to capture my wife, a dog beat him and saved him. Right, meaning that he owned his wife's life to this dog. Right. This okay. So in another story, the same Talmud Yerushalmi tells another story in which the shepherd milked an animal and step away from the moment, leaving the bucket of the milk unattended. Only the dog remained behind to notice a snake drink from the milk, leaving behind the poisonous venom. So that's actually the why we have this halacha we discussed in, I think, in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. So you're not allowed to drink something that was not covered during the night, right? And some people even say that if you left unattended for some time, maybe 15, 20 minutes, even then, of course, it's stringency, but the original halacha was because of the snake might come to your house. So there was no like the insulation we have today or something, right? So the snake would come and go. There were many holes in the house, right? And it might drink from your milk, whatever you left, from your water, whatever you left, cup of water, right? And then deposit some vermin, right? Okay, so that's exactly what happened. Even during the daytime, forget about, right? That's why they were very careful not to drink something uncovered. Okay. When the shepherds returned and tried to drink from the milk, the dog barked wildly and in protest, but the shepherd could not understand what was bothering it. Right? Of course, how they would know? To prevent them from drinking the poisonous milk, the dog drank from the milk itself and died, thus alerting its owners of the danger. Understand? So that's this brave dog, and actually, I mean, he saved his people. So that's the virtue of the dog. Pesikta de Rabbi Kahana, 11, cites a story and adds that the shepherds then erected a tombstone over the dog's grave in honor of the faithful helper, and that died protecting them. Right? So meaning, right? And Maharsha in Sanhedrin 97a notes that the very word kelef made up of two words, kulo lev. What does it mean? That all heart, this animal, the dogs, all heart, they so attached to their owners. Since the dog is indeed the loyal to its master with all his heart, like as we say, as we see self-sacrifice. I don't think cats are going to do the same. I truly don't think so, or any other animals, right? But dogs, it's there are many stories beside this one. Okay. Another point to credit the dog is that they did not bark at Bnei Israel at the night that HaShem struck the Egyptian firstborn. Right? So it's we just learned it recently in the Torah. The dogs were granted their due reward when HaShem commanded Bnei Israel to feed the carcass of that animal to the dogs. Shmos 22:30. So meaning, even though it says, so if it's a carcass, the animal die, you can sell it to a non-Jew, right? Or if you did shkita, and now it is treifa, right? Meaning you see that it's not kosher, you cannot eat. So you can sell it to a non-Jew. Okay, discount doesn't matter. You can sell it to a non-Jew, but it says give it to dogs. Meaning, so even though you can sell it to make money, so it's proper to give dogs some reward. And there is a commentary. And it says, Rishonim suggests a number of explanations why it was credited to the dogs. So because this story is not so simple, right? About all of the Jews were living in Egypt and the dogs did not bark and now they get rewarded, right? So number one, the angel of death passed through the Egypt at night, and the Gemara Bava Kama 60b states that the dogs usually bark and the angel of death's presence. So dogs feel, and we know that animals are very, very sensitive, right? I mean, they do not see. If they see, they would go crazy. But they feel the presence, right, of the angel of death. And still they did not bark. Number two, dog usually bark when they see people carrying sticks, right? And so many people were walking with walking sticks. All the old Jews were carrying their walking sticks at night. No dogs bark at them. Rosh. So first is Riva, now Rosh. Okay. Explanation number 3. Dogs usually bark at midnight. I'm not sure why, but that's what it is. It says in Brachas 3a, yet no dogs bark at that night. Hiskuni. Okay, so that's all of this credited to the dogs. Shach, to the commentary of Torah, page 81, commentary on the Torah, 81a, cites another merit for the dogs had that night, for which they have rewarded, which is the carcasses of the dead animals. So it says clearly, give it to the dogs. So as a reward. Zohar to Parsha Bo 41b states that dogs contributed to the degradation of Egyptian idolatry. Whereas the dogs normally eat bones, the dogs of Egypt did not eat the bones of the Korban Pesach. So we're not allowed to break the bones because these Korban Pesachs have a special sanctity, right? And dogs did not eat the bones, which is unusual. Instead, they scattered the bones throughout the Egypt to publicly display the helplessness of Egyptian sheep deity, right? So meaning that everybody would see the bones of this sheep. Okay, continue. So continue. In our case, since our couple was motivated by their sincere intention to spread the Torah in their community and they had no intention at all to disgrace the Torah, it would not be so terrible for them to name their Torah study center after their dog. Okay. Baruch Dayan HaEmes over the death of the dog. Another question is raised by the death of the pet dog is whether or not if the owner should say Baruch Dayan HaEmes, blessed is the truthful judge, that is recited over the death of the loved one, right? And for them, they loved this dog very, very much. Solution. So it's a question, a solution. The Biur Halachah. So the Biur Halachah is it's a commentary of Chaim. So Mishnah Brura is a short version, and Biur Halachah is an expanded version. Okay. So there it states: if person if person hears that his wine has spoiled, he recite the Yan Chaemes, right? So meaning when you hear the bad news, you can say this, right? It is simple that the same issue if the property was burned. It is simple that the same true is the property was burned, his animal died, so his cow died, his horse died, right? Or any similar loss over which people generally grieve, right? From here it seems that one should recite Baruch Dayan HaEmes over the death of the pet dog, just as one would recite over the death of any other animal. However, so not so simple, nothing is simple in this life, Baruch HaShem, right? However, as Zilberstein explained, that Biur Halachah refers specifically to a case where the death of the animal means severe financial loss. So meaning a horse or a cow or something, severe financial loss. So it's like he is not attached to the horse, but he counts on his making money for him, right? Or saving money for him, doing some job. When the farmer ox dies and he is left unable to plow the field, this is terrible blow. For this is truly appropriate. And it's surely appropriate to recite bracha Baruch Dayan HaEmes, right? Because of his loss. Just as one would recite if one's house were burned down. Halachah does not recognize the death of beloved pet as a tragedy worthy of reciting this bracha, since love, according to the Torah, is meant only for people. Only very interesting, as it is written in Vayikra 19:19, right? So love is only between people, right? So it says you shall love your neighbor as yourself. That's the definition of love. Love for an animal is misguided sentiment. That's now if you say now in public this statement, people will go crazy, right? So love to the animal is misguided sentiment. You enjoy their company, they work I don't know whatever they do for you. That's one thing, but to say you love them, that's too much. Therefore, one may not recite bracha over the heartache of losing a pet. Okay, continue. As an expensive guard dog, if the expensive guard dog were to die, meaning leaving one's property vulnerable to thieves, or a seeing eye dog, so meaning if a blind person dies, leaving the blind person with the hardship of having to adjust to a new dog, then bracha is recited, since these both cases the significant inconvenience in monetary loss. Okay, so that's the stories. So let me know if you have any questions. Actually, we can do another story. Let's do another story quick. Okay. Actually, do we have any questions, or we should go to the next story? Tell me. Any questions? Okay. Go to the next story. Last story. And I like this story. I mean, these stories, of course, unbelievable, but this one is also very, very special. Sharing an inheritance with a dog. You heard it correctly. The challenge. Another unusual question of appreciation shown toward the dog was presented to Rab Zilberstein, Shlita. A fire broke out in an elderly man's home. The fire spread to the blankets and that was covering him, but he was so sound asleep that he did not feel the heat nor smell the smoke. Mere moments remained between him and death, when suddenly his dog came barging into the room, barking hysterically, right, and pulling on the other edge of the blanket and tear it off of his master. The dog's barking alerted the neighbor, who then smelled the fire, burst into the house and extinguished it and saved an elderly man. So, to summarize. So it was elderly man. He was sleeping in his house, very deep sleep, and he had fire started. I'm not sure how. Doesn't matter. But his blanket started caught the fire. So the dog came, barged into the room. He saw what happened, and he started barking and threw out pull out the blanket. And this neighbor heard that something's going on, dog went crazy, right? So he burst into the house and extinguished the fire. So basically, dog saved the owner, right? A dog and this person, right? Several months later, the elderly man died, leaving behind $20,000, right? For two who had saved his life, his neighbor and his dog. Okay. As general rule, we must divide the property of the deceased person according to instruction, Mitzvah, lekadem divrei ha'emes, right? What does it mean? Meaning, whatever this person who died said, we must do. So it doesn't matter, right? But does this rule apply when even when the instruction are to leave half of the estate of the dog? Yeah, we have to follow the instruction, but how can you leave half of the money of the dog? A dog cannot inherit, right? Solution. The Gemara Bava Basra, 143a, discusses a case of Reuven who said to Shimon, you and the donkey shall take possession of my property. Okay. The Gemara offers three opinions of this matter. So Reuven said to Shimon, you and your donkey should take care of should take over my property, right? Possession of my property. Number one, Rav Nachman views the two separate transfers, independent of one another. The transfer of the half of the property to Shimon is perfectly valid. So two separate actions, right? So Shimon, of course, he can inherit. However, the transfer of the other half to the donkey is invalid. So the donkey, how can donkey take the property? Right? Since the donkey cannot acquire the property, minors cannot acquire the property, slaves, other people. Okay. Therefore, the second half remains Reuven's possession. Reuven is dead, right? So, but meaning that maybe he has other heirs that would come later, and okay, but at least Shimon got his half, and his donkey cannot inherit. Okay, so that's first opinion. Second opinion, Rav Hamnuna's view, it is as a transfer with two beneficiaries, based on the presumption that Reuven would not want only one half of his instruction be carried out. Since the donkey cannot take possession of its half, the entire transfer is null and void. Therefore, the entire property remains in Reuven's possession. So Rav Hamnuna, so like he gives a more strict rules. So he said, no, that's not what Reuven meant. Reuven meant that the whole property is being divided in half. One half to this goes to this, and half goes to that. That's what he meant. His property completely being taken care of, right? But since one entity cannot inherit, meaning donkey, so it's all null and void. Nothing like that's it. So it's there is in a trading there is when you buy and sell stocks, there is something it's called all or none. So like you send a big order, they have to fill completely or don't do it. Okay, so it's very interesting. So number 3, Rav Sheshis presumes that everyone that realizes that the donkey cannot acquire the property, right? So like totally different approach. Rather, Reuven surely meant that whichever of the two, Shimon or the donkey, can take possession should do it. Therefore, Shimon should take possession of the entire property. So Rav Sheshes said, no, it's actually like Reuven is stupid. He does not know that the donkey does not need like property. Well, what a donkey is going to do, right? So he said, like in general, so one of them should get it. So since donkey cannot get it, so let Reuven get it. Let Shimon get it. Continue. The Shulchan Aruch Choshen Hamishpat 210 Halachah 3 rules that according to Rabbi Nachman, so it's first opinion, that Shimon received half of the property, while the other half remains in Reuven's possession. Right. So again, Reuven possession meaning Shimon gets, and that part is hanging. Presumably, the same would apply in our case, meaning in case of with this dog. The neighbor should receive half of the inheritance, right, while the other half remains to be divided among the deceased heirs, whatever these cousins, whatever the great grandchildren from this side, from that, whatever. Everybody have some kind of relatives, right? So okay. So maybe we should do like that. Okay. So give half to the neighbor and half since dog cannot inherit, so give to somebody else, to the heirs. However, Raz Zilber noted that in our time, so it is like 20 years ago, needless to say today, like in our times, it is, it's not 20 years ago, no, I take it back. Maybe like 15 years ago, right? Okay, something like that. Okay. However, Rabbi Zilber noted that in our times, it is common for people to make wills for the welfare of their surviving pets. So, I mean, no, in the secular world, for sure, right? It's like normal. Generally, money left for the pets is used to provide comfortable accommodation and a high-grade food for them, right? So, of course, like, people have these jobs to take care of somebody's dog that has $500 million, right? And its name. Okay. Most likely, this was intention of the deceased man, right? So this dog would benefit from this money, right? Okay, so that's good. Had he said, let the dog take possession of the money, the transfer would have null and void, right? So like the owner become owner, the dog become owner, which is ridiculous. Since the dog cannot acquire anything. However, since he only said that to give money to the dog, he probably meant to use the money to provide for the dog. We must presume that this was the deceased intent and using the money accordingly, meaning put him in some kind of institution and pay them a certain amount of money in advance for this dog. So that's a few stories. I think it's a good thing to finish the week. Learning. Okay. Any questions on what we said or did not say?
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead.
So about this, okay, look, this will be at least to me like the $1 million question in regards to this issue of dogs. So if we already have dogs that I don't know, so-called love, how do we get rid of this guided sentiment, which is not love at all? So how do we work on this and see that dog for what it is in reality?
Yeah, that's the thing that people have to work on. And I give you one example. It's actually Halachah. that many people unfortunately do not observe. So it's forbidden to show the sign of love to one's children in a synagogue, right? So you're in a synagogue, so like it's not proper to kiss your children, right? They said, "Yeah, love your son." Why? Because you're in the only entity that you must love is HaShem, right? That's Halachah. It's not like good thing to do. Absolutely not. So same as Halachah. So you cannot like put one leg on top of the other, like when you sit in the shul. Not in shul. I mean, it's simply not in general in life because it's a sign of arrogance. That's what it means, right? But to work on oneself, of course, it's. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with the dogs, as we see, and from the story, and there are like another few stories, like similar stories that I remember from a Talmud that one dog did self-sacrifice, sacrifice their life to save the other people, the owner of other people, the family of the owner. And that's so again, it's nothing wrong with the dogs, but the thing is that the word love in the Torah, in the Hashem's world, is reserved only to humans. Right? I don't know if I said that there is one, like I think crazy ladies in like few of them in my neighborhood. So Baruch Hashem, he disappeared. Maybe she changed the schedule. But I used to meet her like when I would go from the shul. Like it's like 7:10 or something. Like 7:10 I go from the shul. So I would meet her and she would like have this carriage, like a dog carriage. It's like looks similar to the baby carriage, but it's not. So like it's a dog's carriage, the way I understand. So first I thought that it's like such an elderly like lady with so many children because there was like several compartments, and then I saw there is dogs, right? Several dogs, and she was walking, right? Unfortunately, so if she would get married or try to get married, maybe she would not have this issue. You understand? So Baruch Hashem, I have not met her like she like strange, very very strange. So if I see her, like I usually don't look around, but in the morning not so many people. So I see her with the corner of my eyes. I try to cross the street, go this and that. So just because crazy person. So that's the thing. We try to love Hashem, and again we have to respect all of the living creatures. Because especially dogs, because they're very cool alive, as we said, like very loyal animals, right? But love and respect and two separate things, and attachment, right? Two separate, the different things. Okay. What else? Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, Baruch Hashem, let's stop here. Baruch Hashem, it was very successful week. Baruch Hashem, we learned a lot. We advanced. We had very interesting questions, as usual, unpredictable as usual. Baruch Hashem, and we advancing. So let's do again even more. We'll learn even more Torah next week. Thank you very much. Good night. Same time on Monday. Thank you.